Hey, you press play, listener. That was the hard part. Now comes the easy part. Sit back, relax, and laugh. Joining us this week on the Jock and Nerd podcast is an amazing 3D digital artist. Goes by the name DopePope. That's right, the Pope is in town. We chat with Dope about Godzilla, 3D art, 3D printing, and this awesome Kickstarter campaign featuring a sick kaiju figure that he sculpted. Plus, Anthony eventually shows up to the show, and we geek over the plethora of trailers released this week from Han Solo, Avengers Infinity War, Deadpool, Venom, Jessica Jones, and more.
Geek boner.
As well as some great comments from you, our awesome listener, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, February 8th, 2018.
Check. Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're talking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Give it up one time.
All right, now, what's good, listener? How you doing? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name is Rug Boy,
He's the Rug Boy.
and he's the nerd.
Yes, and the Jock was not able to make it for this one. There's a whole thing going on around about his car is broke, and he was just figured he could go in and trade out his car for a new car, like, tonight, like out of nowhere. He's not going to make it, and there's also a big winter storm coming, but never fear, we have an amazing special guest for you, listener. Joining us is a dude I met at G-Fest this summer. He's a listener to the show. He's a generous patron, and he is also an amazing 3D digital artist. Please welcome DopePope. How are you, Your Eminence? Thanks for being here.
What's up, fellas? It's good to be here.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much. If regular listeners a couple of shows ago, you will remember we shouted out the DopePope for his awesome donation to the show. We can't thank you enough, Pope.
Yep, my pleasure.
Right on, and I'm glad you had some stuff to promote. Ruggs, he's like, get DopePope on, and turns out you got something very cool, and I'm glad you can hang out, get the full Jock and Nerd experience right here.
I was really psyched to get the Pope on the show. First of all, I've been following him like a stalker for like years. Like he was on DeviantArt. I saw his shit on DeviantArt, and I was like, "Oh, who's this dude making the crazy ass 3D models of Godzilla?" And he was doing that Gigan. He was doing Jet Jaguar. He was doing all kinds of shit, and I was like, "Oh, I love this." All of a sudden, like Imran tells me he met you, and I'm like, "Oh, now I want to be friends with him." So I'm glad that you're on the show. I'm glad that you're making things, your 3D models are now being printed.
Oh, yeah.
And people can buy them.
Yes, that's the goal.
So I'm excited about that. Yeah, so I'm really, really psyched.
Dude, and I'm kind of sad Anthony's going to make it because we're going to be, on this show, we're going to be talking about Godzilla. We're going to be talking about this sick figurine you got going on. And then we're going to dig into all the crazy trailers that came out during the Super Bowl and post-Super Bowl. Lots of geek-tastic stuff to get down to. If you're a first-time listener, here's where you're going to get comic book, TV, superhero news, reviews, and whatever we choose. And if you are a regular listener, you know that used to be interviews. We're going to kind of do a soft interview with my man DopePope. But Dope, you're really hanging out. It's going to be a fun conversation, and I can't wait for the listeners to get to meet you, especially if you're a Godzilla fan. You don't want to miss this. Before we begin, of course, there's always a bunch of show business. Check out the show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/207, because it's going to have links to everything we talk about, DopePope's artwork, all these awesome trailers. Subscribe in Apple Podcast, wherever you listen, doesn't matter. Fool Apple into thinking we're a cool show. You know you want to do it. Subscribe in the Apple Podcast and check out our new merch storefront, jockandnerd.com/shop. We got t-shirt designs.
Rug Boy shirts.
There's Rug Boy shirts. You can actually wear Rug Boy. Let us know what you want. Real easy to throw up designs. And I already got a suggestion from David Malofsky of a place to hang your cape. He tweeted, "You should do a Bro Do You Even podcast t-shirt. Hashtag Jock Life. Hashtag Sigs Inside."
Bro, do you even podcast?
I think that's a great idea.
It's almost like he's here.
I know. See, we don't need Anthony. I got one line of audio from him, and that's all we need. All right.
For sure.
Yes. He may pop in at some point. That'll be hilarious.
If we get lucky, he'll stop by.
If we get lucky, he'll stop by. Let's carry on, gentlemen.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Before we get to the Pope, listener, if you want to get in touch with the show, visit jockandnerd.com/contact, where you can follow us on Twitter or join our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, join the Jock and Nerd Nation, which is our awesome Facebook group. Man, that group is blown up. Dope, you're not on the Facebook, are you?
No, I loathe Facebook.
Well, I don't think you're missing much.
I respect that. I respect that kind of thinking.
Similar to Rug Boy, Facebook does not like people with like pseudonyms. Like they don't play with that. And I'm like, that's some
You
bullshit.
don't fuck with puppets, man.
They're feltists. Dope, they're feltists.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know. I got off of Facebook probably in 2008.
I bet your life is way less stressful. Mark Zuckerberg.
Wow, that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I just realized that's crazy.
I can't believe DopePope has no idea what's going on Facebook. I gotta welcome two people who joined the group this week: Ray O'Neill and Ralph Bravo, who's got an amazing name. I love your name, Ralph Bravo.
It's congratulatory.
Yes, Ralph Bravo.
Yes.
People are always cheering for him wherever he goes.
Absolutely.
He sounds like a cartoon character. Ralph also sent us an amazing email, which at the end of the show, I have a bunch of awesome emails to share to the listener.
He wrote words.
Words in order that make a sentence into a coherent thought.
That's not easy to do.
Good for you, Ralph Bravo. Dope. Let's get a little bit of your background, man. Turn the listener onto your stuff. And I want to start with the name. Where's the name DopePope come from?
Oh, that's good. It's not too many people know this, but in
right
2000,
on.
like 2000, 2001, DopePope was a t-shirt company that me and a few others started.
Okay.
And it did well. We were just doing cool designs on t-shirts and selling them and marketing them. We were photo retouchers, but we had grandiose ideas to make t-shirts for some reason, and we just fell into it and started doing it, and we loved it. And after a while, we just realized that we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were just wasting money, and we just had to like crash and burn it. But by then, I had already signed on to all these sites to promote it with the tag DopePope.
Oh, nice.
I just stayed there wherever I was. I just kept posting as DopePope, so everyone after a while just knew me as DopePope. And I just had signed my name DopePope to everything I drew to bring attention to the t-shirt company. But then years after t-shirt company was gone, I kept it up.
I like
this,
it.
So
this is like makes me think of like when Spider-Man gets a check. Who's he writing to?
How do you cash this check? Like, how do you please make it out to DopePope? And then nobody wants to cash this check.
right.
Do you ever run into that problem?
Occasionally, because people think like DopePope. A lot of times, people think DopePope is like this big firm of artists that do stuff, that do 3D modeling, that do concept illustration. It's just me. So they'll address me as if I'm the
an entity,
like a studio, an entity or studio or something
that's
like
awesome.
that.
Hey, dude, that's great.
I don't correct them that often, you know.
I represent DopePope. That's awesome. What kind of t-shirts were you guys pushing back in the day?
Yeah, we try to do like just whatever was cool to us, you know. T-shirts were cool back then. Like I don't even know what's going on in the t-shirt world right now.
Dude, t-shirt marketing is huge.
Were they like
right
sarcastic
now.
t-shirts?
They were like very pop culture-y stuff. I would whatever was like vintage cool sci-fi, we would streamline the hell out of it, vectorize it, and slap it on a t-shirt. But it was still cool because I was doing the designs for it, so it wasn't like garbage that we threw on a shirt just to make money. I tried to do something artistic and then put it on. And there was a lot of logos, like the word DopePope we would play with and graphically. And then, I wish I had artwork to show you. But
oh, man. Well, I mean,
it's older
nowadays,
posts. But
dude, there's all these like Sunfrog and Spreadshirt and people, you could literally sign up, type out a design, and have a t-shirt shop.
There.
Yeah, you pick all these dogs.
This is before that.
It's crazy.
This is way before that.
Okay, so update to the listener. Anthony will be joining us. He may have already bought a car. We'll give you our live update as it happens.
He has bought a car?
Yeah.
Just now.
Yeah, he might have. Look, his car broke. He needed another car. And he's like, I'm going to get another car. So we will find out. Should we?
I wonder if that it came into the factor of his decision where he's like, I got to buy this car. I got to do the podcast.
He's like, yo, I got a podcast. I got to buy somebody this car right now.
Let's make this snappy.
Guys, I'm going to be a half hour late. I'm buying a car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who does that? You guys, I'm closing in on a mortgage. I'll be about 15 minutes late.
Half hour late because he's taking his shit, or he just came over from the gym and he has to shower.
Yo, when the pussy wagon is broke, you got to replace it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
that's true.
Talking nerd.
Okay, update listener. We've been waiting for Anthony. I don't know where the fuck he is, so we're going to continue. He will pop in, surprising all of us when he does. So brace yourself for that. DopePope, let's start with, why don't you describe to the listener like what your artwork is? Because walking up to your booth at G-Fest, I'm walking up and I see these wonderful glossy photos of what look like photographs of miniatures. Right? You know, great depth of field, stuff is out of focus. And I'm like, did you make these miniatures and then shoot and no, the whole thing completely digital. But did you come from a 3D background or you came from a 2D background?
No, all 2D background. I think I sculpted a couple of things with real clay.
Oh, you have? Okay.
My entire life.
Yeah.
But like, just like maybe once in college because I had to, and maybe a couple of times just for fun. But other than that, and I really didn't even know what I was doing. But other than that, no, it's just 2D. I've been drawing since I'm a toddler in the backs of library books. Remember those 2 pages that were white?
Yeah.
For blank pages for some reason. It was like an invitation to just take a crayon to it. So, but ever since, I tried to hone my craft and it never really felt like I ever got my 2D art to look as good as I wanted it to.
Did you go to art school or any art education?
Yeah, I went to college for art, and I think I got amazing practice drawing from life.
Yes.
We just drew from a live model every day, all day. So that really, really drilled in the foundation for me.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, anybody who wants to be an artist, who wants to draw a concept, that is the best thing you could do is draw from a live nude model and to keep that muscle working. Ruggs, wouldn't you agree? Like that's how you're going to learn the most things.
Yeah, I think what happens is that when you're drawing from your head and doing that type of stuff, it's so cerebral.
Yeah.
And you have to be in the moment a little bit. And then I think that frees you up a lot. It just frees you up and you're kind of in the moment doing stuff.
You need a solid foundation. So, Dope, how did you get from 2D to this incredible 3D look? Take us on that journey.
Like I said, I never really liked my 2D. And I probably fell into a rut in my creativity, like a creative block I had from like 2008 to 2013. When I jumped onto ZBrush. Now, I tried to jump on ZBrush earlier. In 2009, I tried to get on it. I actually took a class for it, but the application itself was younger, and there were like things I use now weren't implemented by then, and I couldn't really grasp it. I couldn't get it. So years went by where I just didn't even launch ZBrush until they made an upgrade that changed my life. And I'm not going to bore you with the details, but once they made that upgrade, it made my workflow so smooth, and it was like an epiphanous experience. And from that point forward, I was able to produce artwork that I genuinely thought was what was in my mind. It just actually came out onto the screen, and it was amazing. It rejuvenated me artistically, like I would never have thought. And I haven't stopped using it since, and it's already 2018. So time flies, but yeah, I mean, I'm still learning, and I still love it. And every day is something new for me. And with this application, there's so much I don't know still.
The thing that I really like is that you have this huge fan base, right? You have like a lot of people that check out DopePope. There's, people on your Instagram. You got people following you on Twitter, on your DeviantArt, and all these other places where you have your artwork up. So obviously you're getting that response from people. And I bet when you do conventions, you sell out your stuff. So how does that feel? Like you've figured out your niche. I mean, you're doing all kinds of stuff. You're doing obviously Godzilla stuff, related stuff, but you're doing like Marvel stuff. You're doing like, Thanos and all these different other,
MODOK.
all these other different things. So you're kind of branching out and you're reaching all these different people and they're responding to your works. How does that feel?
It feels great. It feels really, really great because I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to be able to have an outlet on that level. And it wasn't until I started doing ZBrush stuff that I felt my art was good enough to do it. And the reason I have so many pieces it was because I had to keep myself motivated. I was so excited to sit down and create something new in ZBrush every day, but I wasn't going to start doing apples and pears or a live model. I did what I wanted to do, something that would keep me excited, which was Godzilla monsters. And I love Godzilla. So I'm doing every Godzilla monster I can think of that I have good reference for. And then I seeped into Marvel, superheroes, supervillains. I like the villains more than the heroes, but even DC, anything I liked from my childhood, I made it come to life on my screen just for the hell of it. And then I started posting all that work, and then hey, the fans came to me. They would like, hey, who's posting this obscure monster that I also love? And then the next thing you know, I have a ton of followers and people are asking for work and asking for commissions.
Embraced by the Godzilla fandom.
One of the coolest things I think about.
Hey,
shit!
He's here with a brand new car.
Hello.
Anthony, did you buy a car? What happened?
I didn't buy one just yet.
Oh, no. Almost.
It's weird. On my screen is 2 DopePopes.
Did you sign in?
One of them sounds like Anthony.
Anthony, did you sign in as DopePope?
No.
Yeah, I got 2 DopePopes. This is not good.
It doesn't matter. Does it?
It does matter.
Fight to the death.
It does matter for Imran once he's tried to edit this.
This is going to be a nightmare to edit where everybody's file name says DopePope, and I don't know who anybody is.
This is cast for you, my friends.
Well, Anthony, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, I figured I would just jump in live, calling in the 800 line.
Yeah, you did. I warned the listener. I was like, Anthony's going to jump in any second.
I didn't know that you guys were sitting here waiting. You should have just kept it going. I thought that's what I assumed.
Yeah, we did for a second, and then we were like,
we thought that you were going to come on within 5-10 minutes.
I was giving you hey, I'm eventually going to come on. I should have said that.
We waited for a second, and then we're like, fuck it, let's keep going, and we kept going, and where we are going is dope. I don't think the listener. This is where we're going. We're going to talk about. Check out DopePope's artwork. The listener needs. There's a link in the show notes. You can find his work at dopepope.artstation.com. But I think we need to explain exactly what your work is because it's hard. There's multiple levels. There's a 2D image, but then you have 3D models that you can completely rotate.
Levels to the shit.
Yeah,
and you can 3D print them.
And you can print them
so
out.
So if you want a toy of something that doesn't exist, like you want a Godzilla that's designed by DopePope, and you want to get it printed out on a 3D printer, you can do that. You can buy the sculpt, and then you could put it into your 3D printer and print it out.
So
this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dope. Describe the process because you got busts of Black Manta, Thanos, Darkseid, all the Godzilla monsters, and while there's awesomely lit still compositions right underneath, there's a full fucking 3D model. Do you start on paper or are you starting right on the computer?
No, I start it right in ZBrush. Wow. I start sculpting from a sphere, and that's just it. I'm creating a sculpture, a digital sculpture, but then I render out 2D art from it, and I'll bring that into Keyshot, and I'll render it, light it, and then I'll go into Photoshop and add whatever else I need to add to create a beautiful 2D beauty render. Now that's what you see me posting to Instagram and DeviantArt and whatnot. But there's still a 3D model involved. So then that I could get 3D printed and then painted, and I could either sell that or I've been lately selling the digital downloads of it. So
that's amazing.
People could print it out themselves if they have a printer, and they could paint it up, and it's just it's a beautiful thing.
There's a site called Sketchfab that hosts all.
Yeah, Sketchfab has just launched their store, and I was already a member. I had over 200 models on there, so I've been picking out a few here and there, and to add to the store, and now I have a healthy offering there. Really cool stuff, and it's super reasonable prices. And if you're interested and you like to print, you have a printer, or you know someone who does and wants something cool, so you absolutely check it out.
It's dope. Anthony, you looking at these Godzilla sculpts he's got on this page? Click the link. But look, the versatility of this thing is crazy. because you have one model and now you can have a bunch of different composed 2D shots. Like you can turn the camera. Now you got another composition. Turn the camera, light it again. A whole nother piece of art. And then it's still a digital 3D. Like it's amazing. How high is the learning curve on the ZBrush when you start?
Oh my God, it's really, really high. It's nothing really makes any sense. You kind of can't teach yourself things. You got to know. Someone's got to at least show you the ropes before you could make any moves. I think that's what was the hardest thing. Just getting started, just understanding the most basic things like how to move things around them, how to do anything. But once you get that down, your fear goes out the window and you just feel okay about poking around on other palettes and making things happen. The whole trial and error thing becomes less frightening. You just go for it. And that's pretty much true with anything I find. But
how's the user community of ZBrush users? They helpful
awesome.
at all? You guys get tips from each other?
It's a good question because you're going to be relying on them often, especially if you don't know what's going on and you're trying to teach yourself stuff.
Yeah.
So the community is huge and they are very insightful and helpful and attentive. Pixelogic is great. Their customer service is fantastic, I find anyway.
It's crazy because I follow this illustrator, Mike Thompson, on Facebook, and he's an amazing 2D illustrator, does all these superhero character designs, and he jumped on the ZBrush, and it looks just like his work. And
that guy's amazing.
You've seen Mike Thompson's
work.
Yeah.
I watch his feed on Twitch where he actually like sculpts and paints.
Yeah.
He's just so good. Did you see that cable?
His cable's great.
Pope is really dialed in. He knows all this shit.
Pope, I feel like the ZBrush community is tight and everybody knows what everybody's doing because that's how you're going to learn more.
I feel like if you are a Pope, you should be pretty dialed into at least
you have to call him your eminence.
In the world.
His eminence knows what's down.
He is ever present as a Pope.
So what about this Kickstarter?
Yeah, let's get to the Kickstarter, Pope.
Okay, it's not mine. It's a client of mine's. I sculpted his monster, and what he's now turned into a limited run of 100 of them that he wants to sell.
How did this come about?
He just reached out to me and said, I would like you to sculpt my monster, which happens a lot.
Which is my dick. No, I'm sorry.
So people do send you designs to sculpt then?
Yeah, all the time. That's pretty much how I'm making ends meet these days.
Oh,
I'm living the dream, guys.
Commission work. So
tell us about this monster because we're dancing around this.
Yeah, we want to promote this.
This is Titanic Creations, and their monster is Titanicus. And you have a link to the.
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes.
Okay, great. So this is basically a monster that a guy came up with the concept of what if the Titanic was sunk by a giant monster.
That's awesome.
So this thing has like an iceberg that's sticking out of its back and like shards of ice all the way down its body. And I guess from there you could just imagine how the story goes. And he was very pleased with my work. And now that this toy absolutely looks exactly like what I gave him. So I'm really happy with it. Looks great.
Dude, that's a great idea.
I'm impressed that he made 1/6 of his money in the first day.
That's awesome.
So I'm really hoping he can make it. He still has like pretty much most of the month to go. So I'm really rooting for him.
That bodes well.
How big is this figure?
It's 30 centimeters high and 60 long.
So that's in American numbers. That's about I did the math. It's like 11 inches tall and over 2 feet long. It's a little over 2 feet long. It's just
he beat me to the joke.
Yeah, small dick bastards.
Anthony, coming in slow.
I love the idea of this because, like, what if the iceberg was connected to a Godzilla? Makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's not connected to a Godzilla. It's connected to Titanicus, you son of a bitch.
Titanicus. It's not Godzilla.
Godzilla would be a different monster.
Would Toho sue them if we say that?
It's kind of like Godzilla-esque in its ways because it's got the long tail.
See, I use it generic like Coke. I call every soda Coke.
Was there any sort of space Godzilla influence on this?
As I was sculpting it, absolutely not.
Okay.
But I don't see how you can't compare. You cannot not compare those two monsters because they look, especially with the big thing sticking out of his shoulders and whatnot. Of course, people are going to see that. Any bipedal giant lizard is going to be compared to Godzilla, no matter what it looks like.
Then you throw crystal or ice on it, and it's like Space Godzilla.
Exactly.
It's a great sculpt. As of this recording, the Kickstarter has made $15,239, pledged up the $60,000 goal with 24 days to go. So, listener, you want to see this thing out there?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
You know what I think is the greatest thing about this is that the balance of it. It's kind of like got the girth and like the weight that a giant monster should have, but it doesn't feel like a fat shit like some of the other monsters.
like Space Godzilla.
Yeah, and I like that. I feel like it can move.
I like that it looks like if it was underwater that it would look like a fucking iceberg.
Yeah, it would look like a floating, and he's got like a unicorn iceberg spike
and
on his forehead.
the whole iceberg vibe of like it being bigger underneath.
Yeah.
God, it sounds like we're talking about penis.
Ruggs, I appreciate that because I've heard that exact comment from a few other people saying the weight distribution on it looks like
it makes sense.
It's really well balanced.
Yeah,
I've heard that a couple of times from people. So that's great. I love to hear that.
I mean, the sick thing is that, in the close-up, if you look at the texture of the skin and the little scallops and everything was done by your hand in virtual clay. It's insane. This thing came, was there any challenges, first of all, translating this design into a ZBrush?
Good question. There's always a challenge translating just 2D work into 3D. A lot of people take liberties with their perspectives, especially when they have drawings from two different angles, and there's things that just can't happen in both shots in on the model. But it's hard to explain to someone why it doesn't look the way they have it drawn. So unless they have a comprehension of that, and then like things I have to do to translate it.
Well, yeah.
But he was pleased. He was very pleased. I think it looked a lot like his concept art. And
so did you find yourself making design decisions because you just had to at that point when you get to that part?
Well, lucky for me, his artwork was beautiful, so I didn't have to like make stuff up too much. Sometimes I'll get scribbles and I just basically make the thing up based on those scribbles. So a lot of it is just me. That happens all the time, to be honest. But people are okay with that too. Like it's all part of. People are okay with it, or if they're not. But if they're serious about it, this guy seems really serious about this. So he gave me beautiful concept art, and it was still challenging just to sculpt it to match his detail. Rather, is a challenge. But when there's not enough detail, that's also a challenge.
Did you ever have to design something and then you never saw it again? It was just gone. Like you just sent it to this guy and then like you never saw anything of it. They never used it, or you never.
Yeah, that happens a lot, to be honest. And what sucks about that is sometimes you have to sign an NDA.
You can't use it again.
I'm not allowed. Like even if I loved it, if I did the best thing ever, I can't show it until I get permission. And if I never hear from them again, I still can't show it. And that's happened. I have a lot of artwork I can't show. Wow. I would love to, but I can't.
Wow, that's crazy.
That sucks dick.
That does happen. It's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, it'll keep happening. That's just the nature of the game.
Pope.
Dope. This thing has the arms and legs move?
I don't think so. I think that's a prototype. I'm not sure. To be honest, they might. It's easy enough to do, but I don't know what he did.
But
it depends on how you print it.
You didn't sculpt it like that, though. Did you sculpt it in one piece?
Well, I delivered it to him in one piece, but then from there, it's still a digital file, so like it can be.
He can just break
joints
it apart.
can be added. Yeah, he could have totally did things to it that I'm not.
How
aware.
many man hours are we looking at on the ZBrush to get this done?
Well, for me, I probably got this done probably a week's time, like 8 hours a day for a week. But I juggle jobs, so it's hard for me to know exactly how much time I put into something because I'll do a 16-hour day, but I won't necessarily be on the same job at all 16 hours.
Oh man, your love for kaiju and Godzilla comes through on all your artwork, and
that's the best compliment. Thank you.
Would you do a 3D rug boy? I'm kidding.
Oh, that is a good idea. How much to commission a 3D rug?
Yeah, we should scrape together some of our.
We need a Kickstarter.
I'm not even sure what rugs looks like, but you send me something.
We have photos.
I'll make you something you can sell on your store.
I have full body photos. Ooh, I like this. That sounds exciting. Listener, check the show notes, shockandnerd.com/207.
You should really have.
Dude, I'm gonna take you up on that. You're just giving me so many ideas going through my head that you said that now.
You should really have one made out of like felt or something.
No, he is made out of felt. His felt is alive. We need like teddy bears or little figurines. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things. We'll go over it. But for now, listener, hit up this Kickstarter. 24 days to go. We'll be tweeting about it. We'll push it out. We'll try to get this thing done because if you're a kaiju fan, This is it comes with a comic book with a little backstory and shit. It's really cool. I love what you've done here. So hopefully we can get some more backers for you. Anthony, any questions for the DopePope?
No, you guys are the artsy guys. I'm just like, damn, that looks cool.
Right? Yeah. Would you buy this?
Don't put me on the spot. Like, say yes, of course.
Just say yes.
That is a no-win situation there. Yes, yes.
Nothing to say yes. Okay, cool. All right, look, let's take a quick break.
Is he hanging out?
He's hanging out. I'm going to play a couple of promos, and then we're going to geek out about all these fucking trailers that dropped during the Super Bowl and after the Super Bowl, right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, listener, Dutch here from Voice from the Underground, the podcast. My co-host and I want to invite you to check out our little corner of the podcast verse. At Voice from the Underground, we talk about all the crazy happening around us and try to make a little bit of sense out of the nonsense with little to no results. If the idea of hearing three semi-intelligent, outspoken nerds talk about politics, social issues, current events, sports, movies, pretty much anything that we decide to talk about because, well, it's our show, appeals to you, grab your shovel and come on down to the underground, and then consult a qualified psychotherapist. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, just not where you buy your weed.
Voice from the Underground.
Welcome to Film Roast.
Hey everyone, Hannah here, the co-host of Film Roast, where two over-caffeinated and underqualified friends talk about all things movies. If you like film factoids, lots of sarcasm, and bad impressions, check us out on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. You can also follow us on Twitter @FilmRoastShow and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/FilmRoast. Happy roasting!
Hi, I'm Drew.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Tanner, and we are the hosts of Headline Heroes.
Every week we take a bizarre, out-there article.
Germans build underground pipeline for beer.
And attempt to create a superhero or villain.
The obvious one is that they have a giant robot that runs off of beer.
Along the way, we discuss powers, design a costume, and of course, struggle with a name.
Graham Sam? No.
Graham Sam? No!
And inevitably, we get off subject and talk about the really important stuff.
I did go to Bill Engvall's website, and I just want to tell you a couple of things I'm seeing here.
Please do, I wish you would. But we always arrive with the super creation we are proud of. Join Headline Heroes every Tuesday as we try to make reality a little more super.
Doc and Nerd.
Hey, thanks for checking us out every week, listener.
I'm laughing right now because I just noticed again. I mean, I've always known, but it says I say Jock and Nerd Podcap.
Podcap. But it just kind of peters out. Like you don't finish.
Listen closely, and you hear that I'm saying Jock and Nerd Podcap.
Podcap. It's very, I don't know what it is.
Seductive.
Very fucking lazy millennial of you. Thanks for checking out the show every week. If you want more show, here's what you do. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon and join our fan club for a low monthly pledge or a high monthly pledge or whatever you want to donate. You will be helping the show out and you will get access to an RSS feed with more content that's growing all the time. And I said it at the beginning of the show. I'm going to say it again. Thanks again to Pope for your generous one-time donation, dude. That's fucking dope. That's why he's the dope.
Oh, welcome,
Pope. And if you just want to if you don't want the monthly thing, we have a PayPal button. Hit the button, type in a lot of zeros with a number in front of it. Click send. That's all you got to do, and you will be part of the Jock and Nerd Nation. You're all part of the Jock and Nerd Nation.
Keep it free.
Yeah, yes, but the show will always be free. We had an issue. Wes at Cranford didn't understand. I have an email at the end. We'll explain everything. But for now, visit our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Yeah, we'll explain things.
Okay.
He didn't. He's like, we'll see. I got a bunch of great emails, Anthony. You're going to hate me. I'm going to read them all.
It's fine.
Before we get to the Super Bowl and all the trailers, quick follow-up from the very end of our last episode. Everyone, you can relax. Stan Lee is fine. He's feeling good. They released him from the hospital. That was kind of a cliffhanger ending. I left that in, guys, where Ruggs discovered that he was rushed to the hospital.
Yeah, that spooked me a little.
He is 95, and 95-year-olds need to go to the hospital probably more often than you think because he's 95.
What is going on? Someone in a kitchen right now?
I think Dope's cooking.
Oh.
Yeah, that's me. How do you hear that?
These mics are awesome.
That
Very
microphone
sensitive.
is very powerful.
I will cut all this out because you won't hear it in the edit.
No, just you should leave in the part where I say someone in a kitchen, then edit the rest of it out.
Okay, got it. I'll leave that.
Make it look like he fucking left the kitchen.
I'll leave that in. Pope's joining us from the kitchen of the Mexican restaurant.
That's coming from behind me. I'll mute it.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
I just keep thinking of like that thing where what's his name? Christian Bale was distracted on the set of Terminator 2.
We're fucking professional over here. You're fine. Somebody touch my spaghetti. That's Christian Bale. That's what he said. Okay, let's start with the trailers, guys. Very exciting, maybe. Finally, we got a trailer for this movie that's out in just a little over 3 months. The infamous Solo, a Star Wars story. Directors get fired while they're shooting. Ron Howard comes in, reshoots the whole thing. We have not seen a lick of anything from this movie that's coming out May 25th, but now we got trailers, we got Super Bowl spots, we got posters. Who wants to start? I don't know. Anthony's not a big Star Wars fan.
No,
I know that much.
Right.
Dope, you a big Star Wars fan?
Not really.
Okay,
I like it.
Okay, let me ask
the
you.
Next guy.
Okay, let me ask you your. What did you think of this? Finally, getting it's a teaser of this movie. What were your thoughts initially?
It's a trailer. Let's call it what it is. It's a fucking trailer.
Okay.
This was more of a trailer, I guess. Yeah. I to be honest, like I think it looked fine. I'm not invested in these characters like diehard fans are. So you get that out of the way, and then everything just starts to look just great. I mean, I'm looking forward to. Who's that? Donald Glover?
Donald Glover
I think
as Lando.
He's clearly going to steal this movie.
Absolutely.
Which is ridiculous because Han Solo is supposed to be the guy who steals this movie.
Right.
It's about him.
Woody Harrelson looks pretty cool in here. I'm excited he's in this.
Right.
Imran, I thought you asked him.
I think it looks
don't give him your opinion. Let him fucking talk.
What did you think of Woody Harrelson?
It's like I don't even know why he's there. He's always okay. I'm not that big a fan of him, but I don't think he's going to break the movie.
I think seeing Woody Harrelson in the movie is kind of weird. Now that I'll admit.
Ruggs, what'd you think?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, obviously the guy who's playing Han Solo, we are all like trepidatious about him. He probably doesn't have he's never going to have the charisma and shit that Harrison Ford has.
Right.
I mean, that dude's just like the man. So he's got big shoes to fill. He's never going to fill them. But if you take that out of the equation, I think it was fine. It didn't look, I mean, you have a note here that's looked like it's straight to DVD.
Yeah, it didn't look that bad to me either, to be honest.
No. Yeah.
I mean, at least he's not trying to do Harrison Ford.
Well, I'm asking you why you wrote that.
Because the tone of it, initially when I watched it, it has a weird, like, straight to VOD. It just has a weird, low-budgety feel. I don't know what it is.
I think you saw what Bilotti said, and you were really influenced by that.
No, I said that in a private thing, and then he posted that later. He stole my shit.
Oh, he stole your shit.
Totally, dude. To ask Bilotti, he will tell you. I said it first, and then the next thing I know, he's posting it on Facebook. Yeah, but I totally had said it first. Anthony, thoughts?
I agree. I didn't. When you said it looked straight to DVD, I was like, I don't see that at all. It looks like a fucking Star Wars movie. I read something online where it has that kind of grayed out tone, like Rogue One, which is kind of. I mean, it's fine. Yeah. It's kind of weird for a Han Solo movie, just because you'd expect Han Solo to be like a little bit more lively and a little bit more colorful. Yeah. So I don't know if the gritty feel is the right tone. I do agree that probably Donald Glover will probably steal this. Yeah. I see you, Daenerys, by the way. Please take off your top.
She looks great in this.
She looks fine.
Highly doubt she's going to take a top off.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah, I think the main problem this kind of, it's a trailer, so we don't know everything, but the main problem I see is this guy's not fucking Harrison Ford. And if it's a movie about Han Solo, who's the most charismatic character, even I know that in all of Star Wars, and this guy is going to have scenes stolen from him from other characters, that's a big fucking problem when you're making a Han Solo film.
He's the guy who stole the show in Star Wars.
Right.
Yes. I agree.
That is already, like, when you can say who's going to steal the show
already,
but besides the guy that is playing Han Solo, Ehrenreich,
like,
that's a huge miss. This guy has to be fucking amazing, or else this movie's a miss.
I'm not sold on this Aaron Rick guy. I don't see the charisma. I don't see the swagger.
Well, what if the plot of the movie and just the mechanics of the movie are entertaining enough to support the movie? I mean, because I'm thinking of I keep thinking of John Carter, for example, where the guy Taylor Kitsch, he didn't have enough charisma to carry that movie, and but the movie was entertaining enough to watch. So it might be in the same wheelhouse where it's the movie might be entertaining enough to be enjoyable, even though that the main character isn't really anything to.
I would compare it to this, and I don't even know why I'm arguing this because I don't give a fuck about Star Wars. But I think when you're doing a solo film, a Han Solo film, I think in that case the main guy has to be amazing. The plot can be terrible. This is one of the only times where the plot can be terrible, but if the main guy is playing Han Solo is magnetic, that's fine. It's almost at the point where if they recasted Robert
Downey, you think genius casting is the key?
Yeah, for that, it'd be if you recasted Iron Man as the next Tony Stark. Whoever plays Tony Stark has to be fucking charismatic as hell to fill those shoes. It can't just be an amazing plot. It has to be. This guy has to be awesome.
In this case, I think it's going to be the opposite. I kind of disagree because I always think good writing can save any fucking thing. Now, this movie is being screenwritten by Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah, but when it's based on a guy based on a guy that's supposed to be the most charismatic person in the entire world.
I see what you're saying, but if this story is so good and the script is so good and the guy maybe isn't the best Han, I still think it saves the movie. Overall, it got me a teeny bit more interested to watching this movie, but was not blown away, and I'm not sold on this guy.
The problem is that if you're going in looking for Harrison Ford, you're not going to get it.
I'm not. But you're looking for charisma. You're looking for that charisma, that screen presence. That's all he needs to have.
Then it's a mistake making the movie.
Probably. Well, it could be argued that the whole movie is a mistake. I feel the same way
about the guy who plays Star-Lord. I don't think he has enough charisma.
I think Chris.
There's no precedent with him being charismatic.
Yes, that's true. That's why it's fine.
Right.
He was really good on what's that TV show that he was on? Parks and Rec. He's got plenty of charisma on that show.
Yes. So I don't know. Hopefully, a good script. I don't know. I don't know. It's great to finally see something, but
it's crazy that the first trailer and the movie comes out when?
May 25th.
That's insane.
Right?
Most movies with a May release date come out with trailers in the fall.
Months ago. Well, they had a lot of production issues.
I know. I'm just saying that this is not normal.
It is not normal, and this is not going to be a normal movie, but I don't know. I'm still going to go see it. Emilia Clarke does look great in this. I think
I like her better with the white blonde hair. Yeah.
Speaking of Emilia Clarke, side note, our favorite Game of Thrones showrunners, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, they are going to write and produce a new series of Star Wars films for Lucasfilm.
Oh, shit.
I'm on board for that.
Are we going to get a Daenerys Solo Skywalker Targaryen?
I don't know, but I mean, they got some flack because they were men and they got hired.
Well, and then all these stories are coming out that 93% of Lucasfilm is white males, and they're they need to hire more diverse writers and people.
But aren't the people that working at Lucasfilm people that want to work there?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Are there millions of women being turned down? Or they're just guys that like Star Wars that want to work at Star Wars?
I would also argue that the last Star Wars film was one of the most diverse casts I've seen in a major budget film.
Yeah,
so
the cast is a very diverse. And this also probably that other show that they were going to do, Confederates. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're just going to.
No, they should not do that show.
Can you imagine, Dope? You heard of this show? Are you a Game of Thrones guy, by the way, Dope?
Yeah, big fan.
So, did you hear about what they were planning to do after Game of Thrones?
I thought they were going to spin off 5. They have 5
prequels in the works, and they're going to pick one. But the showrunners were going to do the show called Confederates, which was going to be about an alternate timeline in which the South won the Civil War.
Yes,
and slavery never got abolished.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that would take balls to do that today.
Well, they did that with the Hitler thing. What's it called? The
Tarantino's movie.
No, it's that show that's about the Man in the High Tower.
Oh, yes, Man in the High Tower.
Castle
with the
or Tower?
Castle,
Man in
yes.
the High Castle.
Where the Germans
Which is
won
a good
World
show.
War II. Yeah. So
that's like the same idea, but you can do that about Jews, but I guess
alternate history.
I think it's bad right now. The temperature right now is not the time.
So
for
look,
that kind of
here's my question to you guys, and this is what I'm kind of feeling about Solo. Like you said, Last Jedi, the heat is still on. It's very divisive. This trailer is causing more division. They're going to have live action shows on their streaming service. Rian Johnson's been given another series. These guys are given another series. I think this is too much Star Wars already. Like, it's only been 3 movies in 3 years. I'm getting a little burnout on the Star Wars.
Well, that was bound to happen.
But
if it's done okay, like,
yes,
are you burnt out on the Marvel?
No, that's the point. Is 10 years, 17 movies of Marvel. Give me fucking 10 more
throw
years.
in TV shows and Netflix and
Doesn't
stuff.
matter. I'm all in. It has not burned me out in the least because they have a wealth of characters and storylines.
Well, but the thing about Star Wars is that the universe, as vast as the entire galaxy, limitless is, their wheelhouse is very small.
Yes,
true.
It's the same shit over and over again. I'm getting tired of it.
They need to diversify, and
their bonds.
I don't think the way to do it is by making the Force do a million things.
Did you say?
I did say that.
I think they need to diversify in the way of, like, not everything is the Force.
I think people are burning out. They're going to burn out on the Star Wars very quickly.
Let's talk about other shit that's not the Force. That's cool.
Well, maybe the Solo film. I mean, are they going to have any Force in that?
No, there are probably no Jedis, no lightsabers in this movie.
Not even allude to it?
It's supposed to be like a swashbuckling, like piratey adventure where he meets. No, I mean they may allude. I don't know. But you would think
for
not.
example, think about this. You have like Darth Vader, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking cyborg.
Yes.
All right. They don't really give you the cyborg shit.
No.
They really don't expand on that. It's just like an afterthought. They're just like, oh, he's a cyborg. But like, if you were like doing some really crazy cyborg shit, you could jump up in the air and fucking crack through walls and fucking do crazy Terminator type shit.
And he should be able to do that.
Yeah. So it's like, form a fucking cannon out of your hand or whatever. Like, whatever. So it's like they're thinking too myopically in terms of the technology they can exploit and the future, things that can happen, like bio upgrades, all that stuff. That's like not really. It's glossed over.
Or they got to think about spreading it out, and because it starts to become not as special when it's every fucking year, and in this case, like 5 months apart. It's a little much. So is Lucasfilms with the Star Wars. Okay, let's move on to something.
But now it's going to be Game of Clones.
Yes, Game of Clones is pretty good. That's a good line. I'll give you points. I'll give you points for that one.
I award you points.
Let's move on to something that we all love, and that's the MCU. And this 30-second Super Bowl spot that has so much shit in here to chew. It's unbelievable. Like every frame, I'm just like, every frame is geek boner. Let's break this down. Starting with, you see Tony, Peter Parker, and Strange standing there as a team, and just seeing them standing there in costume, I was like, oh shit, look at that. That's fucking great. You got 2 Sherlocks. Look at that. Sherlock meets Sherlock. What'd you guys think of this spot?
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that great? But don't you think in 30 seconds, there's a lot of good stuff in here.
I'll be the first to disagree.
Really? Oh no!
I mean, I was geeking out when I saw it, but when I actually digested what they showed us, I was like, this really wasn't much.
Well,
a lot of it was stuff that I saw in the other trailer.
Yeah.
No, this is all. What are you talking about? This is all new footage outside of the last shot. Yes,
but I'm just saying it's all related to the same. It's
but this is footage
a different
we have
moment
not seen
in the same trailer.
But it's stuff. It's literal footage we have not seen, except for that last money shot where they're running. Like Spider-Man in space, taking his mask off. He's clearly wearing his old costume. So, like, when does he get the Iron Spider in space? I love that. That was crazy. Fucking Spider-Man in space,
That was
dude.
crazy.
Dude,
it's just him taking off a mask.
Yeah, but they're gonna do
a face you've seen a million times.
Spider-Man in space is nuts. You see Cap's new shield, which I hope that's just part of the shield. I hope there's more. Because
no, that's it for now.
It's kind of small. You don't think there's another one on the other side?
I think he's going to get a different shield at the end of this. Or maybe Iron Man's going to give him his old shield back.
It looks like these Wakandan gauntlets extend. Is pretty dope. Dope. What'd you like? Is there a moment you like that stuck out?
Yeah, I like the new svelte looking Iron Man fly towards the screen. That looked really good to me. And then the last thing they show is a close up of Thanos, which I just love Thanos.
Doesn't he look amazing?
It's great.
It looks like he's wearing Iron Man's wearing the like Extremis or Bleeding Cool arm.
Yes, it's called
armor.
Bleeding Edge or Prime, evolved from the Extremis. It's nanotech that just like forms over his suit. He thinks about it. It looks fucking sick.
Yeah, it looks good. That looked really good.
I'm not saying it didn't look bad. I'm just saying there wasn't really that much here.
Iron Man charging past Strange while he's doing that thing. That was fucking dope. You saw Nebula. Finally, you see Groot is older. Thanos looks amazing.
But for 30 seconds, they did what they had to do. They showed basically everyone that matters in the film.
Yeah. I counted everyone. They showed you 22 characters in these 30 seconds.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty impressive. 22 different characters, which is just like a quarter of who's in this fucking movie. Oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited.
This fucking crazy. Okay, next.
Didn't they say there's going to be like 34 heroes on screen?
I'm hearing 70 plus altogether.
Well,
like
in total, yeah.
Yes.
But they said there's going to be 34 in the same shot.
Yeah.
Did you guys see, kind of in the same vein, that 10-year anniversary
the 10-year photo
the class picture?
Yes, that's
I was
amazing.
like, wow, that's insane.
I started counting everyone and I stopped. I was like, I'm not counting
it includes all the directors too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And just them, like the video of everyone just hanging out and like shooting the shit together. I was like, this is nuts. Look at all these people hanging out. And there's like huge names there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tony, Robert Downey Jr. was like, I'm in the middle, but you could literally take any of these actors or actresses and they could be the person in the middle.
Yeah. Well, he needs to pass it on. That was that 30-second spot. Just, I mean, I got more geek from that than the fucking Han Solo trailer. I'll tell you that much. Next,
Not surprised.
Next one is a trailer that was smart enough to not spend $5 million for the Super Bowl and wait till that hype died down and then fucking release their shit. I like this move, and it's Deadpool, the Deadpool sequel. There's also international trailer with a little bit more stuff in there, but this first trailer called Deadpool Meet Cable. Boy, guys, we get a good look at everything, and I'll tell you right now, I'm in. I can't wait. This is everything. They did everything right in this trailer. I'm super geek for this movie. Ruggs, what'd you think?
There was a lot of like hidden jabs at Marvel.
Yes, I love
or
those.
whatever in there.
Yes.
Which was, I thought that was weird. I mean, I thought it was interesting and funny, but like overall, I like the commercial. I like that they give you a little snippet of X-Force. I don't know if they're where are they in some kind of truck or
it looks like they're coming out of a helicopter or something. Yes,
something like that.
X-Force or Wild Pack or Six Pack or whatever that is.
Yeah. So you get kind of like a little quick snippet of the team, Terry Crews. So it's cool. You see the Shatterstar.
Yeah,
I think in the back.
Who knew Terry Crews is in this fucking movie? Is he going to be Bishop or GW Bridge? I don't know. That was crazy.
I don't think he's Bishop. I think he got to be GW.
He's GW Bridge. Dope. What'd you like about this trailer? Anything stick out to you?
No, I'm not that invested in Deadpool and all this game. But I did really like the first one. Yeah, I never thought the character was that great, and then when I saw the movie, I liked him even more. So the movie did a great job. But when the commercials come out, I just sometimes I'm in the same avoid
boat.
them. You know?
Yeah, Ruggs. I
don't really have a huge taste for Deadpool, but I'm enjoying the movies because it's one of those things that when I don't give a fuck about a character, I don't give a fuck what happens to the movie as long as the movie's entertaining.
Yeah,
and that was an entertaining movie. Holy shit!
Yeah, so I was
left my ass off.
Yeah,
Anthony, this get you hyped for the sequel?
I'm in the same boat where I'm Deadpool's not my number 1, 2, even 10th favorite character, but I enjoyed the first film. I didn't think it was as great as everyone thought. This trailer right here was entertaining. I like that it kind of pauses and it gives you Deadpool talking to the camera and acknowledging that the arm should be great. CGI. Like that's all like clever stuff that they should be doing. So they checked all the boxes. Yeah, and it looks good and it looks like it's a bigger budget film. So
absolutely.
Am I hype? Am I like I have to see this the first night? No, but it's a solid trailer and it's different than most trailers.
That's a great point. You do see that this is a bigger film.
Yeah.
You do see that there's a bigger budget in here and there's a set design's a little bit better and stuff like that. So it gives you something to look forward to.
So this is the second time we're going to see Thanos in May. First Brolin as Thanos, and then Brolin as Cable. What do you guys think of how Cable looks? I think he looks pretty cool. I like that the scene where he's taking on the cops. I think it's all right.
Warming up to him.
Yeah.
I always feel like he should look like just a ridiculously big, like Rob Liefeld would draw.
Right.
But if it can't be that, he looks. I'm warming up to this. I didn't like it at first, but he's warming up.
I agree. I thought he was a little too weak looking, but he's starting to grow on me a little bit. But he should be bigger. He should have been a bigger.
But look at him as Thanos. Like he looks huge as
well, that's
Thanos.
He's got $10 million CG on him in every scene.
He should have played Cable. I mean, he should have played Cable as Thanos. It should be Josh Brolin playing Thanos as Cable.
Similar proportions.
Very confusing. I really appreciated all the Easter eggs. Like you said, the green arm, and then he's like, it's not like we're trying to remove a mustache. And then there's like it's a Toy Story parody in the middle. He had that Bob Ross trailer where he did the painting. The painting is in the background in that room. And then there's two subtle Thanos references where he goes, fuck it, I'll do it myself, like Thanos did with the gauntlet. And then he says, I've got the stones to help you. I love this. And Dopinder is back. I like when there's a stereotype Indian character who drives a cab. Always good. And then I was in the international trailer, there's a quick shot where he grabs Colossus's butt while he's hugging him. So, yeah, we're getting what we loved in the first movie, but I'm all in on this one. Like, this one got me. I was like, this is going to be fucking great. I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it. So
the fact that it looks bigger is exciting because it does. It looks bigger.
Now let's talk about.
Oh boy, let's talk about something. Yes,
you can bitch about.
How do you describe this?
Well, this is something we've been already lambasting prior to seeing the trailer.
Yes, just today. Sony.
I've been basting it for a while.
He's been basting it for a lot. I'm baiting. Finally dropped a teaser to the Venom movie.
Oh, shit.
In what I consider probably the biggest fucking fail of a teaser. Here's how you don't make a teaser. Do you agree or disagree that they just show us how not to make a fucking teaser?
Well, the whole thing with this movie is you're doing this movie that already has a lot going against it, right? You have the fact that Spider-Man may or may not be involved. It should be in a Spider-Man movie being introduced. It's not. So you have to come in with a strong trailer where you're going to be like, all right, motherfuckers, we're giving you this Venom.
Yes.
Get ready to fucking splooge your jeans. All right. And they didn't do that. They did the opposite. They pretty much played it very safe and they made the most boring ass trailer in the world. He's riding down a street in a motorcycle. That's the most exciting part.
A successful teaser. And not only that, Ruggs, you're right. They needed to tell the mass audience that Venom fans are going to go see this no matter what. They needed to let people know what this is, whether this is a horror movie, there's a symbiote. This is like a fucking generic Tom Hardy action movie. This could be any movie. It tells you nothing.
Tom Hardy walking into a bodega.
Yes, literally, and walking in the hallways.
That's what it is. He's getting an MRI. This is like my life. I'm getting an MRI and I'm going to a bodega.
It's a day in the life of Rug Boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
there's some exploding cars, which is always
cool. There's a crash site. There is a little bit of
That's
info.
Anthony's life.
Anthony, did you finally get to see this?
I did watch it, yeah.
What'd you think?
As Joe from work told me, it looked like a regular Tom Hardy film where he's in a psychiatric ward.
That's what. Yes.
It seems to me that they just don't have the CGI finished.
No, that's the film just finished filming, so there's no CGI.
So this teaser left a lot to be desired because everyone, like you said, is very skeptical, and then you don't see Venom at all in the movie. And I read in the Jock and Nerd Nation that someone was like, "This is from a comic book storyline," so it is drawing inspiration from something.
Yes.
But the tone of government cover-up / weird psychotic person running from the government doesn't scream Venom to me right off the bat.
No.
And I think it's because I just think of it being the black suit Spider-Man in first. So,
well, if you knew nothing about Venom, you watch this, you still have no idea what the fuck Venom is.
I don't think you could walk in. I think Venom's enough of an icon where you kind of know what Venom is, and that's the problem. Is I think everyone knows what Venom is, and that's not what they're going to deliver.
Yes,
I mean, do we know for a fact if Carnage is in this movie, or is that still like?
Well, so
not sure.
So here's the scoop. What it's based on, Lethal Protector, is a story where he leaves New York and he goes to San Francisco, and this corporation called the Life Foundation creates all these other symbiotes. Riz Ahmed is playing the CEO of this Life Foundation. So you see a crash site, like maybe that's an alien ship where the symbiote comes, and then maybe I guess in this run Eddie Brock had cancer, and the symbiote was the only thing keeping him alive. So does he show up in the same place to try this treatment, and the symbiote is there and it joins? Apparently there's supposed to be a bunch of fucking symbiotes. Like his wife Michelle Williams is supposed to be the girl's female Venom. So I don't know. Let me ask.
I was surprised to see her in the
she's
trailer.
playing his wife. I mean, the cast is pretty interesting for this movie. I have to share David Malofsky's line. I'm going to give him credit because this is pretty funny. He commented, "Can you post the trailer for the Venom movie? I think you got the wrong one. This one's clearly for Tom Hardy's whiny bitch too. Bitches be tripping." So points for that, because that's what it looks like. Let me ask you this. Should they have waited? I would rather have a no trailer versus a bad trailer. Should they have waited until there was a little CGI done and they could show us Venom to release something?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think they could have had just at least have maybe a quick shot of Venom's face with like a little bit of tongue or some teeth, even if it's not like in focus, but just a little bit more than what they gave us. Because look, we've seen Venom before in the movie, so it's not going to be that much of a reveal when we see him. And unless they drastically change the way he looks, it's still basically going to be Venom again. So at least show that, and then wow us with some Carnage, because we've never seen Carnage.
That would have been
talking
nice.
about Spider-Man 3, which a lot of people went to go see. So that Venom
it did
is
make a
just
shit
a
ton
thing
of money. Yes.
The secret is out.
Man, but everyone waiting to see anything. You saw the goop in the canister for and it is a teaser. I get it, but it failed. It fucking failed to do what a teaser.
Fine.
The goop looks great.
One thing Spider-Man 3 got right is how the symbiote substance moved and how it crawled.
Mm-hmm.
That looked beautiful. And when he finally turned into Venom, it was a little disappointing. I kind of liked some of it, but I didn't. Overall, it just wasn't what I was hoping for. And unless they really want this Venom to look like Dan Lavusi's art. You ever see Dan Lavusi's Venom drawings, the paintings? Look them up. It's the best Venom I've ever seen, and if it looks anywhere near as cool as that, then we're gonna be thrilled.
I mean,
if they don't go that route, we're in trouble.
You got a hint of it, I think, of the poster of the where you see the eyes, and a little bit in the end of the trailer where they show you like the teeth and the eyes. And I agree. I think it's going to look like what we're expecting it to look like, because it's a very basic thing. But how do you explain this without fucking Peter Parker or Spider-Man? I don't know. Like, I don't understand how they're going to introduce all this. And I'm still confused. But pretty much one big fail for Sony. You fuckers. Figure it out. Give us
already off to the wrong foot there.
Yes, it ain't coming out till October. Okay, let's move on to a trailer for a Marvel Netflix show, and that's the second season of Jessica Jones, which we all think it's one of the better Marvel Netflix series that have been produced. Dope, you into the Netflix Marvel shows?
Yes, that was probably might be my favorite of the series. I think I enjoyed it more than even Daredevil.
It's a lot of people's favorites.
I think it's tied with me, but I really enjoyed it as well.
Anthony, what'd you think of this trailer? It's they got a little bit of story, you get a little bit of essence what's going to happen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you didn't get to watch this one? All right. Well, honestly,
I think he would like it.
Yes,
think he would like it. You definitely give it a watch.
I'm trying to watch it.
I know it's hard for you to watch anything these days. But.
I'm trying to watch it as we're speaking, but it's hard to. I'm gonna hold my judgment.
I mean,
what do you guys think of it?
Wait, are you talking about the trailer you haven't seen, or the entire show?
He's seen the show.
I've seen the show. The show is amazing. Yeah. I just haven't seen the second trailer, and it's hard to pay attention and hear you guys talk at the same time.
Right.
I agree. Ruggs, what'd you think? I like that we're going to learn a little bit about how she got her powers in the program.
Trying to buy a car. I'm sorry.
You are. You're trying to. It's very important. You got nowhere, though.
I got nowhere.
Did you walk out in a huff and be like, I'm out of here?
I'm walking out.
Yes.
Did you use the Huxtable method?
Yes.
Which?
you dress down and you come in and you act all poor.
Remember when Theo had to buy a car?
Yes, that was great.
And then like he told them like how to haggle down for the price and how to like look like you're poor.
Yes, and it's working. And as they're leaving, Gilbert Gottfried walks in and goes, "Dr. Huxtable!" and blows his whole spot. And the guy's like, "Oh, you're a doctor. Okay."
That was a deep cut right there.
I love that
That is
episode.
real deep.
Look, what are we talking about? This is Justin. Ruggs.
Jessica Jones.
Ruggs, what do you think of this trailer?
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn about her origin. I'd like to learn about how she got her powers. It seems like Kilgrave's back in the mix because there's a little purple dude
at the very end. Somebody's clapping.
Purple lighting.
Yeah,
yes.
with purple
It looked
lighting.
like just lighting. I don't know if they're going to do them purple, but I really wish they would.
Yeah, well, purple. I think now that...
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
There was some purple hues there.
I feel like he
definitely
may be
some hues.
lit in purple in this because he's in this as a hallucination or a memory.
It could be.
And every time he shows up, maybe he's lit purple. I like we see Trish Walker fighting. Maybe we get the Hellcat. Maybe we get the sidekick in action in a
It would be
costume.
cool. I would love that she has a sidekick.
Yeah. Not a lot of super heroic strengths of feet in this, or feats of strength in this movie. She
Strength
jumps.
of their feet?
The feet.
Strengths of feet.
Strengths of feet. The feet and the hands. How about the foot in the face?
Well, Jessica Jones was never a show for the action.
No, that's true.
It was all about the cerebral, paranoia, anxiety, and the PSD and all that stuff. And, the empowerment and all that other thing. So there's other things to watch this show for.
But you love when she kicks some ass. Those are some good, that's some good shit.
It's cool when she has, but it's very along the lines of what's his name? Luke Cage.
Right.
Where it's not really all about these crazy superpower stuff. Like Daredevil's got fight scenes. Daredevil's got all the theatrics. These other shows don't really rely on it as much.
It's more
Which is
the
weird.
drama. Yeah. But when they do have the action, you hope it sticks out. I am psyched for this. I think it's coming out in March. Man, there's a lot of things we're going to have to watch coming up in the next few months.
Wee.
Let's wrap this up and discuss some of the other Super Bowl trailers.
Yeah, there was one on here that I really kind of want to talk about.
Which
for a
one is
little.
that? Let's
The
start with that
Jurassic
one.
World.
Okay, you want to talk about this one?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Dope, you're a kaiju guy. You a fan of the new Jurassic World? That last movie?
Yeah.
Did you like that movie?
It's got dinosaurs in it, of
Yeah,
course.
there
I'm
you
a
go.
fan
I figure,
of it.
yeah.
I'm not sure how necessary these movies are anymore.
They're completely
After
unnecessary.
They're
They're
completely
not.
unnecessary,
Yes.
but I'm thrilled to watch them. But I think Jurassic World was just a rehash of the genre of the first movie. It was fine. It was great. It was good to see them again, but I don't think the CG on the dinosaurs is awesome anymore as it used to be.
It hasn't gotten better.
That awe factor seems to be gone, but I'm still thrilled to be watching it. So
there is something still to be said about looking at dinosaurs walk by people. Like it's just kind of, and there's a nice jump scare in this with, I guess they create a new dinosaur. Anthony, what'd you like about this trailer?
So the first trailer, this is a trailer 2 now. So that first trailer, Fallen Kingdom, I was like, I'm out. Like there's really no plot here whatsoever.
Yeah.
Watch this Super Bowl trailer and I'm like, there really isn't a plot here still?
Yeah.
But I'm in.
There's a little more story.
You know why?
Why? Yeah,
Why am I in? Because they're going full Fast and Furious on this now and treating this basically like not like a joke, but a tongue-in-cheek, like let's just have a lot of fucking fun.
Full out dinosaur action
The
film.
first Jurassic World, they made T-Rex and the Velociraptors, who were the villains in the first films, the heroes.
Right.
It looks like they're going even further in that now by, again, rehashing what happened in Jurassic World by creating these hybrid dinosaurs. And there's a shot where Blue, who's one of the Velociraptors that Chris Pratt's working with, is like protecting him. So like again, they're going with like the dinosaur versus dinosaur thing, and this time they're even going further with let's throw a volcano in this, and let's bring them back to like civilization, like let's bring them back to San Diego, like the Lost World. Like it's all ridiculous and all stuff that we've already seen, but throw it all together, and it looks like now they're just having a ton of fun. And you know what? I'm shrugging my shoulders. I'm like, all right, there's some movies that
is
deserve
interesting.
to be fun, and this is it.
Yeah, it could make another. What did it make? Like $1 billion?
Yeah, I mean the last one made
money.
the last one wasn't good, but you know what? It's
Made a
Fast
shit
and
ton of
Furious.
money.
What are the odds at the very end of this movie the T-Rex comes in, saves everyone again?
Oh,
Do
shit.
yeah,
we don't care at this point. Just make it fun.
Make the villains from the first films the heroes, and make them
That's
fight these
interesting.
weird hybrid dinosaurs.
Where's Jeff Goldblum? I want to see Jeff Goldblum.
after you see Jurassic World, it's such a piece of shit movie that you can't. But it's fun to watch. It is entertaining. But it's like this is a shitty movie. But so your expectations of going there and watching like a great movie, like as far as writing is concerned and character motivations and plausibility and characters that you like, those go right out the window. Yeah. So you're just like, now you're there to see fucking shit blow up and fucking monsters fight, which is fine too. It's just, they're leaning into it, like Anthony said. They're just really going for that. So I'll deal with that.
Jurassic Park, the first one, was a legitimately really good film and had like a lot of ideas that you could kind of come out of that and discuss.
Plus,
these films don't have any fucking ideas.
I mean, and at the time, it was something you had never seen before. It was a shock that you saw that T-Rex.
And you were discussing like humans playing God and like what's the ramifications of all this.
This one is shit's blowing up. We got to get the fuck out. How fast can we go? Woohoo! Volcano, go. Dope, let me ask you this. Every time these movies come out, it's just, there's something that everybody, no matter how old you are, what gender you are, everyone has this fascination with dinosaurs. And it's still a thing. Like, it's not a fad. Like, it's just always been a thing.
They're real.
Yeah, is that dope? What do you think? Why do you think people still love dinosaurs? Why do you love dinosaurs?
Because that's such a crazy question. I don't even know what to say to that. I absolutely was in love with them before I could even talk. I was like looking at dinosaur books and stuff. I don't know what draws people to them. I mean,
they're huge, and they're things that existed in the past that we can never see.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when you're a kid and you're learning about dragons or whatever, or Godzilla or anything that's whatever, you're like, well, dinosaurs exist.
It all came from dinosaurs.
And dinosaurs existed, and those things are like basically the same thing. Right. You know, a dragon is just like a pterodon or something like that. Or, whatever. It's like you could just say, oh, there's flying lizards that are gigantic. And you could like kind of reconcile like even the most craziest shit. They're like, if you look at some of these dinosaurs, like you can't even design shit like that. You can't, some of these things you can't even think of. Yeah. Like these, way nature designed these creatures to be so fucking majestic.
And, the fact that dinosaurs and man lived next to each other just 6,000 years ago when this planet was created. I mean, I think it's a very special connection.
Son of a bitch.
We have.
They used to have pet dinosaurs.
Yeah, we can relive that, our early caveman days.
Eat brontosaurus burgers.
If you're a kaiju fan, you have to love dinosaurs, right? That's the roots of these kaiju.
Yeah, it's the root of it.
It's the root of it.
And I think the other reason I'm I'm in is because it's kind of going the kaiju route of making dinosaurs fight dinosaurs.
And that's what you want to see.
Oh, that's what I want to see. Yeah, like the best part of Jurassic World is the end when the T-Rex and the Velociraptor do a tag team match against Indominus Rex. Like that's the best part.
That's pretty great.
You get a little bit like the alien monster scare feel with some of these. So I like that.
I want to see them amp up the hybridization. Yeah. I want to see them go full out crazy,
full Fast and Furious style, where the cars can fly. Like go make the fucking dinosaurs look like apes and shit.
Did you guys see that concept art that was out there by Carlos Huante, who did the hybrid dinosaurs that were supposed to be in the Steven Spielberg?
They were They were supposed to be in the fourth one, right? The one that they were.
It was it was supposed to be one that they never made it, but the script was about how they were militarizing the dinosaurs and making them have more human-like arms, so that they could actually wield weapons.
Oh no! Yes,
it was going off the rails. To be honest, I want to see that movie.
Yeah. They were taking some of those ideas. You could see that in Jurassic World, where Kingpin's in it. Is basically like we're going to militarize these raptors, and we were doing experiments to use them as military. Like I think they're gonna go. I don't know if they'll go that extreme, but they've taken some of those ideas.
Yeah, I think they definitely planted the seed for it.
Like, weren't they putting guns on them and shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were mounting guns on the dinosaurs.
Lasers and shit.
Do it.
Yeah, we've seen the first movie already twice now.
Yeah.
We don't
need to see it again.
We don't have to do that again. It's like Spider-Man origin story. We've seen it.
Yes. Show me dinosaurs with freaking lasers on them. Exactly. How about that?
That was actually sharks, but yeah.
Whatever. All right, wait. I want to talk about the trailer that got me excited which was this Mission Impossible 6 Fallout. This fucking thing. This looks like an amazing action movie. Like,
did you see the latest one?
No, I haven't seen the recent ones, but
what is it called? Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation, I heard is good. This just
fucking crazy.
This looks like just a really intense action movie. This is the mustache that ruined Justice League, people.
Oh, shit.
We are getting a look at it finally, and I still don't understand why he couldn't shave it off.
And it didn't have to ruin Justice League.
No, it didn't.
Because there's software that can take away the mustache
if you've been following the story of the guy on a $500 PC using AI deep fake technology or whatever, erase the mustache and look way better than in the movie. But Ruggs, I know you're a big fan of these the Mission Impossible franchise because they're pretty sick fucking action movies. This one looks like it delivers just like the last one.
They I always have a good time at Mission Impossible. Are they the best like ironclad movies where there's no like ridiculous things?
Of course not.
I mean, in Rogue Nation, there's one scene that's so improbable. You're like, what the fuck are they doing? But like, there's a lot of great thrills in it too. So I always liked Mission Impossible, and I think that Tom Cruise still is a fucking crazy motherfucker, and he'll do anything to make a good movie.
Yeah. I mean, he's hanging off the helicopter. He's doing these jumps. You saw, he broke his fucking ankle.
He's a level 8 Thetan or something. Whatever he wants.
The church is very proud of him.
Yeah.
Dope. What'd you think of this? You into the Mission Impossible series?
Yeah, I've seen every one of them. I think I've enjoyed just about every one of them. I think that this trailer showed every cool scene, and now I don't have to see this movie.
Well, I know
basically every cool scene they showed because the trailer was great.
Yeah.
But now I don't have to go see it.
You don't think there's anything more in between these shots?
How many more things can he hang off of a fall towards? Or it's just more of the same at this point.
Yeah,
but it does look, it looks action packed.
I'm still watching it when it comes out.
Yeah,
I'm still going.
I mean, the hits look brutal. Like it looks so just.
It's like a fight in the bathroom or something.
Yeah,
that
flips
fight someone through the mirror.
It looks intense.
Sick.
Like that guy looks like he got hurt. Anthony, what'd you think taking a look at this? Did you get to watch it?
I did watch it. Yeah, it looks good. I've never been a Mission Impossible person or fan. The only one I've seen is Part 3, and I saw that in high school when I was taking a girl out on a date and basically just making out with her.
So you didn't see that.
So I didn't see it at all. But yeah, it looks good. Henry Cavill's in it. Is Tom Hardy in this? Is that Tom Hardy that I saw?
Was that Tom Hardy? No, Alec Baldwin, Angela Bassett.
I don't know what the fuck I was looking at. But yeah, no, it looks good.
Jack Donaghy.
Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames.
There you go. Yeah. Why did I think Tom Hardy? I'm thinking of Venom. What the fuck?
Watched.
No, Superman's in it.
Henry Cavill's in it.
But it looks good. I mean, it's Tom Cruise falling from things like DopePope said.
Yes,
that's the first iconic scene in Mission Impossible, right? As he falls through the laser thing.
Yep.
So you gotta do something like that.
It looks like he does another thing where he drops from a rope and tries not to hit the bottom.
What is what? I'm probably the only guy that even is going to ask this, but what is the concept of Mission Impossible? Like, what overall arc is it? Some guy that is in the CIA or something?
It's an organization, right, Ruggs?
Yeah, it's basically an organization, and basically there's top secret. They're like double, triple spies.
It's like Black Ops teams doing missions that nobody knows. The famous thing is you get a mission and then they're like, this will self-destruct in 60 seconds. And then should you choose to accept? So it's always that setup and they don't know who they're communicating with. And then they just go on.
It's always somewhat impossible.
Always somewhat impossible. A lot of face-changing
Apparently
things.
It's all possible because they do it every time.
That's a good point. They do actually get the
mission
mission
it's actually
done.
mission probable?
Mission kind of, you could do this.
Yeah.
Kind of probable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it looks like a dope action movie. Tom Cruise still got it. And then let's talk about this Skyscraper trailer with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's in
I couldn't believe this was a trailer for the Super Bowl. Like, I couldn't believe they spent...
I'm like, why the fuck is Nev Campbell in this?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. I felt bad for her.
Where did they dig her up from?
She hasn't been in, what is this, Scream 12? Like, what is she doing?
She hasn't been in anything in like 30 years.
So, look, we have a Die Hard meets the Towering Inferno with The Rock with no legs and trapped, and he's jumping off things, and there's no way in hell he makes that jump that the trailer ends on.
The whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm waiting for Rocket Raccoon to steal that leg.
Give me that leg. And then
I was waiting for this to be like, what franchise is this part of?
Right. Nope. Just
like you never see like Super Bowl trailers where it's not part of a huge franchise.
Yeah, they spent money. The Rock is in like every other movie that comes out, though. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's in like if there's like 10 movies out, he's in like 3 of them.
Dude, he's like a Bollywood actor. They shoot like 7 movies, 7 different movies.
He was in the latest Fast and Furious, the Jumanji film. He's in that Rampage film.
Rampage. Now he's in any minute.
Yeah.
When is Rampage coming?
Is there more than one of him? Do you think he's cloned himself?
Mark Wahlberg, just like and him are like trying to be in every movie.
Dude, everything.
Yeah.
So
I think it looks good, though. To be honest, it gave me that warm and fuzzy feeling that Die Hard did, and I see obviously they're going for that.
Yeah,
and it hasn't been a really good movie like that in a long time, where it doesn't have a superhero in it or it doesn't have a robot in it. It's just pure action.
Who's a bigger action hero right now than The Rock?
Nah, it's him.
And I like The Rock. I think he's
actually
gonna nail
charismatic.
this.
I don't think there is a bigger. He is the
He's
man right now.
confident in what he does, pretty much.
No, but I agree what you said. Like that's why it gave me like I remember the disaster movies of the 70s, like Towering Inferno and Poseidon. That's
I remember.
But wasn't he in a movie that was a disaster movie with fire?
It was.
It was.
He just did it.
Yes, the earthquake movie.
San Andreas.
San Andreas. Yes. So
which is awful, but it had its moments. You know?
I've not seen that.
I was saying, Imran, you were saying the disaster movies of the 70s.
Yeah.
The disaster movies of like the late 90s and early 2000s are like, are like, I'm getting recollections of that.
Independence Day, Titanic,
Day After Tomorrow, all those fucking films, the volcano ones, the tornado ones.
Oh yes, there was like 2 volcano movies, 2 tornado movies.
I know what you did last summer. I don't know.
What? That's
just doing titles with different.
I love. I'm like, we'll probably see another cycle of disaster movies, but it's always a good time at the movies. You go in and
I haven't seen one about skyscrapers. We've seen skyscrapers falling, but not specifically about the architecture of skyscrapers.
We had London is Falling, and then we had.
But that was about governments and
shit. Did anybody see
Olympus.
Geostorm? That was so bad.
I heard it's bad.
It looked
I used to drive that car.
I learned, dude. They had in high school. That's what we learned on Geostorms in our driver's ed class.
That's right.
Geostorm.
I feel like Gerard Butler has just been like ever since 300 has been starring in disaster films.
His career is a fucking disaster now. That's why.
It's a shame.
And then finally, let's talk about this for a second. This Cloverfield franchise, fucking J.J. Abrams, just doing wacky shit. Somebody
it worked for me.
So, Ruggs, explain this to me. There was like a trailer for a third Cloverfield, and then it came right out on Netflix.
They just fucking bombed you with Cloverfield, like at the Super Bowl. They're just like, all right, everybody, there's a fucking Cloverfield movie. You know that Cloverfield movie that you were waiting for? Well, go on Netflix and watch it right now. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. I just stopped immediately. Like, as soon as the Super Bowl was over, I went over there and I fucking watched that movie.
Yep.
Now, now the idea for getting people to watch
That's amazing. The marketing here. I've never seen this.
The movie? I don't know.
Movie? No?
No, I won't give it a heart, but it was definitely a disappointment.
But what an amazing, is this changing the game? When has a movie ever done this? Did anybody know that this was going to happen?
Hey, remember a couple of episodes ago, I was telling you that these movies spending money on marketing is dumb.
Yeah.
And they figured out, I think this is what they did. They shot the movie for $40 million. Yeah. They sold it to Netflix for like
50.
They made $10 million. They made their money back. They're like, all right, we're cashing out.
How much of that money they paid for the Super Bowl spot, though?
Netflix had to do that, though.
Oh, that's
Netflix
a good
is the one marketing
They would put out that they would pay the couple million.
Yeah, Netflix is the people marketing.
Now another giant monster movie, and I was never really.
And for Netflix here, real quick on the business side,
yeah.
Not only do they get people watching that, but then they get everyone going on to Netflix.
They're going to get subscribers.
Well, and then they're also going to give everyone watching whatever else is on there.
Oh, of course. But what a fucking crazy, brilliant marketing move! People.
I'm glad I thought
on social media, people are losing their shit. Because it just came out of the blue, so they
it was way out of the blue.
It was ballsy.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. They pulled that off.
Too bad the movie got terrible reviews.
Yeah. Who
watched it?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
Dope
I watched it like Ruggs. I jumped on immediately.
Was it any good?
I didn't hate it. It irked me. I don't like that. It's a Cloverfield movie. It seems like an afterthought. It seems like all the Cloverfield stuff is just tacked on.
It's just a marketing ploy, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's unnecessary. I think it actually detracts from the movie. The movie wasn't supposed to be what it turned out to be, and it shows that half the movie is filmed on a set somewhere, and the other half is like that space opera thing that was going on. I liked a lot of it. I think all the Cloverfield stuff is just tacked on, and it shows, and it bugs me. I love the first Cloverfield, and I would love a true sequel to it.
And that
but I don't like what they're
last
doing.
that last shot that every kaiju fan is jizzing over is like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like last minute afterthought thing, and it's cool to see the monster again. And I dug it, but it was 2 seconds.
But in the context, just, like over the clouds.
Well, I guess I don't. Who knows what those clouds
That's
really
impossible.
are? Though I mean, I don't know. Is that like the clouds like 20,000 feet in the air, or is that clouds like just slightly?
Or is it the
above
proverbial cloud that we
shit?
all upload our photos to? Like what cloud is
the
that?
cloud.
Oh, that
is it
cloud.
iCloud?
Yeah.
Do you guys think?
I don't think it's
No, go ahead.
no, I say it's hard to tell scale from that scene because there's no other visual, like there's no other there's nothing there other than a cloud to give you a sense of scale. So people are imagining it being gigantic, and it could be just regular size.
It's like Parallax from the Green Lantern.
Still huge though.
Now, let me ask you guys this: was this always the plan, or do you think they saw this movie and they're like, "We can't fucking release this in the theaters. What are we gonna do?" And they pivoted, sold it to Netflix last minute. And this is what happened.
I think it had to be a direct-to-video
the whole time.
But you want to know something? It had a very high production value for something that was direct-to-video.
Right on.
So kind of like Bright, where it seemed like it was...
Bright could have been in the theaters, yeah.
Direct-to-video isn't what it used to mean.
These
it's not bad, not necessarily bad anymore.
Well, it's also it's direct to Netflix, who's funding some of this.
It's a Netflix exclusive.
Yeah.
Speaking of high budget Netflix shows, anybody checking out Altered Carbon?
I saw the first 2 episodes.
I saw the first 2 episodes also.
I'm like halfway, 5 episodes in. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
You're lucky if you get me to watch an episode of Black Mirror.
You don't worry about Altered Carbon, Anthony.
Okay.
Focus on Black Mirror.
All right. Let me keep me focused.
Yes.
Black Mirror is definitely worth watching.
Yes,
100%.
but Altered Carbon, man, fucking a little Blade Runner. I'm all about stacks and resleeving and what great concepts and characters. I'm totally digging it.
I can't. It hasn't hooked me yet. I got to be honest. I love the way it looks, but I.
Oh, you haven't had the hook moment of the show.
Yeah, I haven't gotten.
How many did you watch?
Rugs.
I watched the first 2.
Okay.
What were you saying, Rugs?
I was gonna say, how long did it take you to get hooked, Imran? Are you just instantly hooked?
I was into it after the first episode, actually. I was like, oh, this is
actually as if that's fucking surprising that you'd be into something
it's
right
not
away.
surprising. I enjoyed
watched
it.
2 episodes and I think, okay, like they're starting to like, this is what the thing is. It's like you watch the first episode and they vomit all of these terms at you that you don't know. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I got to give it a couple episodes so I start to know the lingo, and then I start to feel like comfortable in the world, just like Game of Thrones. Same thing with Game of Thrones.
And it's a lot like Westworld, where you're kind of confused in the beginning and you don't know, and it slowly reveals itself.
I know that I got to give it 3 or 4 more episodes, but I don't see it getting worse.
Yeah.
I think it's going to, from what I could see, that
great.
they're kind of filling in things that I need to hear. I'm also watching it with the subtitles on.
Well, I do that all the time.
Yeah, because I know that all these terminologies they're gonna escape me. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So and that helps a lot.
Well, and there's also a lot of characters speaking different languages in the show.
I feel like Joel Kinnaman or whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah,
the lead star. He mumbles a lot. He mumbles like I don't understand what he's saying.
Wasn't he Rick Flag in Suicide Squad? Is that him?
Yeah.
He
was also RoboCop.
He was the RoboCop.
I wasn't impressed with him in Suicide Squad. He does mumble a lot, and that's why I have the captions on. But,
I have the captions on too, and it helps the fucking lot.
For what he's playing, which is a kind of a guy who's confused anyways and doesn't know what's going on, like he's doing a pretty good job trying to figure it out with the viewer.
I like the budget, the production value of it. It's really nice.
This is the most expensive Netflix show ever made.
Yeah.
It shows. It definitely shows.
Good stuff. Okay, that's it for our trailer talk. I have a couple of emails I want to share from our listeners. We're going to learn a lot about some of our listeners. Anthony, earlier before you got here, I welcomed Ralph Bravo to the show. He's got a fucking great name.
That's not a real fucking name.
That's his name on Jock and Nerd Group, Ralph Bravo. And then he messaged me later. He says, "What's up, Imran? Thanks for adding me to the group. I just want to say I am a big fan. I've been listening to the podcast for the last couple of months, and you guys get me through the day. I work as a beer delivery which means I drive to each store, stack a shit ton of beer while listening to liquor store owners complain. But when I see the Jock and Nerd podcast pop up, I instantly put on my Bluetooth headset and can't stop laughing and smiling. You help me get through the day, sir. Y'all are doing the Lord's work. Maybe not that, but making every one of us that love the nerd culture forget about everything else and just making us have a good laugh or smile. Thanks, man. You guys make this beer delivery guy happy every week. Bro, keep up the amazing job.
Jock and Nerd.
Wow. I feel like I just rubbed one out. I don't know what to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're like.
Yes, thank you so much.
I like Ralph Bravo. Whenever I Ralph, I like a little bit of applause too.
Whenever I Ralph, you should clap.
Yeah.
Keep stacking those boxes, Bravo. You're doing a good job. Stack that one. Look out, that one's falling. Okay, next email from Wes Cranford, Yank from Down Under. He says, hey guys, last 2 shows have been great. Laughing a lot, especially when Imran threw it back to Anthony about pushing him. Hilarious. Yes, Anthony, old people do always say that. It's because we have heard it cycled before in one form or another, but the new stuff is great too. I'm going to see the band The War on Drugs on Wednesday, so we old farts need to keep an open mind and listen with the ears of a youngin'.
When did I push you?
Remember when you were talking about my belt? And I was like, yes, it'll be easier to hang myself when I do it. You keep pushing me, Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, this got dark. He loved that bit. That was hilarious.
I like dark stuff. Yeah, that was
dark stuff is good. He says, oh, yeah, you said if I pay, I keep it free. How the fuck does that work? Still money well spent. You keep me laughing. I might go to next tier. Wes, definitely go to the next tier. Double your thing right now.
Yes.
The part that you're confused about is when we say the show will always be free. This main show you're listening to in this feed will always be free forever. Some shows, they put like their back catalog behind a paywall, or some shows completely have a paywall. But what you are donating to the Patreon helps us keep this show going and pays for itself and keeps it free. Did I explain that right? I think that's where he...
Yeah, the only thing you're paying for is for the bonus content.
Yes.
Right. I think you explained, but I'll reiterate it.
Yes,
I wasn't really paying attention to you, Imran. Sorry.
That happens. It's fine.
by contributing to the show, this show actually costs money to produce.
Correct.
And at some point in the lifespan of the show, me and Imran would get tired of throwing in money.
Right.
Because we're not making anything off this, and we're basically losing money every time. So you guys contributing pays for those overhead costs, and now the show is free. Otherwise, we would have to start charging the listener, and no one will listen to us if we started charging the listener. So there you go.
They wouldn't. I wouldn't pay for this, and I'm on it. But well explained. Okay, last email from Jimmy the Geek, our buddy Jimmy Graben. Good Earth to you, fellas. Hope things are good. Just some tidbits this week I wanted to share / get some thoughts on. Insights. Love to talk about superhero soundtracks. You're talking about Black Panther. Just wanted to take a walk down memory lane of some Marvel themes. Hero by the guys from Nickelback and Saliva from Spider-Man.
Oh, shit.
No. Vindicated by Dashboard Confessional. They were big when...
Not too bad.
They were big when Anthony and I were in high school from Spider-Man 2. I don't remember that song.
I do. I actually liked Hero.
You did?
By Nickelback. Oh, yeah. But at that time, yeah. I was like 11.
Yeah. It's an uplifting song.
Yeah.
He's like a white, what's that guy's name? R. Kelly.
Okay. All these songs you're about to list, I like them all.
Okay, Bring Me to Life by Evanescence from Daredevil. I think we mentioned
Evanescence is fucking awesome.
During the What the Fuck Happened episode when we explored new metal.
Perfect new metal 2000s, yeah.
Wake me up.
Yeah.
I bagged on that song, but Ruggs, you brought me back. That's kind of a badass song. Good vocals. Broken by Seether, featuring the chick from Evanescence from Punisher, the one with Tom Jane. I don't remember that one. These are just off the top of my head, but help me out here, Imran and Ruggs. Wasn't Prince heavily featured on the Batman 1989?
He did all that music.
Yes.
Prince did everything.
I wore the fuck out of that soundtrack. I love that Batman soundtrack. That was my shit. I was 13.
Fun shit.
Oh my God. Bat Dance and Trust and Party Man. And there was like a slow sex song on there. It was fucking great. I do have to mention, really quick sidebar. I mentioned this last week, Ruggs. You threw it out. Judgment Night soundtrack. You guys, listen to these pair-ups of these people. How crazy this was back in 1993. Helmet and House of Pain. Teenage Fan Club and De La Soul. Living Color and Run DMC? Are you kidding me? Biohazard and Onyx on a song. Slayer and Ice-T on a song.
Yes.
Faith No More and Booyah Tribe on a song.
Yes.
Sonic Youth and Cypress Hill. Mudhoney and Sir Mix-a-Lot. That's a wacky pair up.
That is a weird pairing right there.
Dinosaur Jr. and Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Love Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Therapy and Fatal. And then this one, Pearl Jam and Cypress Hill. When were you ever going to hear Pearl Jam and Cypress Hill on the fucking same song?
Never again.
I love the Judge Midnight soundtrack. Look it up. It's not on Spotify. I couldn't find it. I think it's going to be hard to find. Jimmy continues.
Oh, I have it somewhere.
He continues. First album I ever bought with my own money was the Space Jam soundtrack. Anthony, as a lifelong Bulls fan and Jordan guy, I know you had to have loved that movie and own that CD too.
What is it, Michael Jackson on
I
that?
didn't own the CD. I owned the fucking cassette.
Oh, shit. You had the cassette.
R.
Damn.
Kelly, baby. I Believe I Can Fly. Oh, that whole soundtrack is amazing.
So Hero and I Believe I Can Fly are your two inspirational songs.
Let me look up. Well, the first, I think I mentioned this last week. Space Jam and Lion King were my fucking jam. Those soundtracks were the best. Fly Like an Eagle by Seal. Quad City DJs playing Space Jam. Dude, come on.
Man, you know how old I am?
Busta Rhymes, Coolio, LL Cool J, and Method Man hit 'em high.
My first piece of vinyl record I ever got, I made my parents buy me Thriller. Michael Jackson's Thriller. That's how old I am.
I mean, you look at this. Salt and Pepper, Monica. Chris Rock was on one of these.
I mean, there were some like top 10 jams on that thing that summer.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All those songs. He continues, Imran, are you and I the only guys watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now? Because it's fucking epic and the season has been amazing. Would love to hear your thoughts after the mid-season finale. I
wouldn't say epic.
I'm loving it.
It's entertaining.
It's entertaining. It's crazy time jumping loop shit that I'm so confused. I don't know where they are or what they're doing, but it is entertaining. To answer your guys' question, I listen to the show at various times, but mostly every Monday morning when I get ready for work and drive to work. Although I'll listen at the gym when I mow my lawn too.
And when I mow my lawn.
Super Bowl was a great game and trailers were awesome as well. Real life example of mixing jockin' and nerdin'. Jockin' nerd. Okay, that's it for me. Sorry for the length, but I figured
that is a good point.
Right?
All of these comic book movies are being broadcast on the Super Bowl.
Dude, the shit is getting mainstream. He finishes, but
it's way too mainstream.
It's way too mainstream. But I figured I could give you some good talking points as we build up for Black Panther. Thank you guys for being a fixture in my weekly routine. Gotta go now. Somebody touched my fettuccine.
Somebody touched my spaghetti.
Jesse the Geek. But Ruggs, look, I was thinking about this, how Black Panther, like the awareness of this movie is so mainstream now. Chadwick Boseman is on the cover of fucking Time magazine.
Oh, shit.
And for Black Panther. When was the last time a lead in a superhero movie was on the cover of Time magazine? Like,
well, this is a major thing. I think this is what happened. It's like Wonder Woman, no one really thought that they didn't really know how good it was going to be. I mean, as far as
the hype wasn't like this.
Profitability. They didn't know it was going to do.
The hype was nowhere near like this.
Like they had no idea. They thought that Wonder Woman, if it made some money, it would be good. They didn't know it was going to take off and be part of a movement now. You know, so they're trying to get ahead of it now. Seeing what happened with Wonder Woman, so I think that it's good.
They're doing a good job.
I agree. Wonder Woman was a situation where everyone's kind of cautious because DC had a horrible track record.
Yeah.
And then once people realized the movie was good, that's when the hype built. Whereas this, I think a lot of people are pretty confident this film is going to be good. And so and they're getting ahead of it, like Rug Boy said. Do you want to get a Rotten Tomatoes update on it?
Yes, bring me an update. I'm going to ask.
Is it 150%
I bet it is. I do want to ask Pope. Pope, do you think, how excited are you for this movie? And do you think it's going to live up to this hype, or can anything live up to this hype?
Ooh, I'm very excited for it. Actually, only recently I got excited about it. Though at first I wasn't even
really
interested in watching the trailer.
Yep.
And when I saw him in Civil War, it was really cool to see him and all that, but I wasn't that excited. I was never that big of a Black Panther fan to begin with. But now, for some reason, I'm really getting excited to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, I wasn't a big Black Panther fan, but this Black Panther has made me a big Black Panther fan already.
I think it's going to break records, and it's going to be like a phenomenon.
We're looking at 150 million February opening weekend.
Why is this not?
What's the number, Anthony?
I don't know. I looked it up, and then now it's like you can't find it.
It's so early. Keep finding it.
It was up there, but as of yesterday or the day before, it was 100% and 8.6. Here, I got it. It is now 98% fresh.
Oh, shit.
Nice. Out of 83 reviews, 8.4 average critic rating.
That's strong. Good. That is strong. I read a thing about, he was talking about how he got the role, Chadwick Boseman. And believe it or not, the man did not have to audition. He did not have to read. The Russo brothers had in mind.
How to read. What?
No, he didn't have to read for the role.
Oh, right.
The Russo brothers had in mind the whole time, pretty much just called him up and be like, yo, you want to do this? And he said yes, and the rest is history. Like, the role just landed in his lap.
Does anyone turn Marvel down?
I don't think they do. Why would you? How could you?
Chris Evans does.
What?
Well, like, all right, after a long run, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is going to be huge. We are a week away. She did? Oh, for Captain
Marvel.
To be
Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and you know what? It's funny is I didn't put this in here, but let's quickly, we'll wrap up with this. The news that broke today that Joaquin Phoenix is in talks to be the Joker for the origin movie directed by Todd Phillips, produced by Martin Scorsese. This was the movie they were looking at Leo DiCaprio to do, and this is the movie that is outside of the DC universe.
They're going to create like their own little like offshoot brand of DC to do this.
So that doesn't
crap.
mean if they do a Suicide Squad sequel, Jared Leto will still be the Joker in that movie. This is going to be another universe Joker. But speaking of people turning down Marvel, I guess he had he turned down a spot in Doctor Strange, and then he turned something else down. But I like Joaquin Phoenix. I think this could be really interesting.
Yeah, it could work.
He's got the chops to pull anything off.
He's crazy enough. He's unpredictable.
He doesn't have to be physically imposing. No. He's just like, Joker's not like anything athletic. So none of the things that Joaquin Phoenix is working against this.
I mean, I think like Leo, he's smart at the things he picks that he chooses to do. And he's got like kind of a weird mystery about him anyways. And he's just weird. And I think I think
he could pull off a good Joker too.
And this will be like
very interested in seeing that.
The origin, like how he became Joker. Anthony, what do you think? You think this is going to work?
Joaquin Phoenix is interesting casting. I would have been more intrigued with Leo, but Joaquin is not a bad sub.
Yeah, he's not a bad.
I'm interested. I like that I kind of like that it doesn't have to be tied in, and they can just make a Joker film. But I'm sure it's going to confuse a lot of people. And
yes,
DC has a terrible track record, so that kind of wanes some of my excitement.
Yes, everything has low bar for them that's coming out. Finally, Anthony, why don't you pimp? Anthony's all grown up and he went and did another podcast without any of us, Ruggs.
Fuck all y'all.
Can you believe that?
I can't wait to hear this.
Bro, do you even podcast?
Yes, it's called the Cubbyhole Podcast. Why don't you pimp it out?
Yeah, it was it's by Jason Dutch. It was the inaugural episode of the Cubbyhole Podcast. It's part of like their network of VFU Underground. So they're doing these offshoot niche podcasts, and this guy, Jason, is originally from Chicago and loves the Cubs, and decided to have me on, and I could stretch out my legs a little bit and actually talk sports with people that actually give a fuck about it. So, or with a guy that actually cares instead of Imran, who like feigns like that he's even interested.
Sometimes it's interesting.
Cubbyhole Podcast. Check it out. It's on iTunes.
I'll put a link in the show notes. I listened to the first couple of minutes. You get to hear Anthony's very first sports memory. That's a good one. I would listen for that. But no, it sounded good.
You endorsing it just makes no one want to listen to it, dude.
But go listen to it. Despite
I will listen to it, Anthony.
I'll tell you this: I listened to like 5 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I get it, and I was out. Like I just didn't care.
Way to plug another show, Imran.
No, it was. I listened to their other show.
If you like sports, and you like Anthony.
You like the Cubs.
You will love this, and you like the Cubs.
Thanks, Ruggs.
All of our jock listeners, go check it out.
And you like cubby holes.
You like holes and cubbies.
I love Imran just being like, yeah, go listen to this show. I listened to 5 minutes, and I dipped out real quick.
Because it's about fucking sports.
Wow, you asshole. What a dick. This is not even my show. You're bagging on someone else's show.
Jason, I love you, man. You know I'm not bagging on your show.
What an idiot.
I listened to Voice from the Underground podcast. I love that show. But look, if content, like, would you listen to something about that say you didn't care about it?
No one asked if you would listen to it.
What?
No one asked you. You're just saying you don't want to listen to this.
This is the best part of the show, DopePope.
No one asked you. You're literally giving your negative opinion on something.
It's not negative. I thought it was very interesting. It was entertaining. Good production value.
Imran, apologize to Anthony at this moment.
Apologize to Jason.
No, Jason, I love you, bro. You know I love you. I'm going to go back and listen to the rest of it.
Okay, there. That's a better.
Now you have to listen to it all day
You said
long.
sometimes you guys fight. Is this one of those times?
Kids, mom and dad are fighting. Doesn't mean we don't love you. Just go watch Space Jam in the other room. Turn it up real loud, though. And everything's fine over here in the kitchen.
This will not be edited down to any kind of capacity.
Thanks for listening to this show. This is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. DopePope, final plugs, man. What do you want? Tell our listeners where they can find your stuff, what you want them to do.
You can find my artwork on Instagram and Twitter, DopePope, all that good stuff. I got downloads at some sites. I got this Kickstarter I'm pushing. You heard it all already.
Yes, definitely check out the Kickstarter. And if you're into 3D printing or you know someone who's into 3D printing, share the link. Buy some of his 3D files. Thanks, Ruggs. Where do you live?
Right now, somewhere on the Eastern Seaboard in a cardboard box. But you can find me on Twitter on the airwaves in the web or whatever the fuck it is. What is it? Your phone?
At Really Rug Boy.
Why do we even call it a phone?
It's not a
no
phone.
one talks on the phone anymore.
It's a Black Mirror.
I try to avoid it at all costs.
Yeah. On your Black Mirror, I'm on the Twitters.
Go look for Dope on Facebook because
Really Rug Boy.
At Really Rug Boy. Dope don't fuck around with the Facebook. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And we'll hear you next time.
Get your hand off my penis!
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.